Joining me is Alan Moran, Head of Regulation Economics, which studies the economics of green policies. Alan, thanks for your time. I've got a few questions here, so let me try and rattle through them. First of all, why are electricity retailers telling customers to get lost?
Well, those retailers doing so have been buying their own electricity in the spot market and not under contract. And that's been a winner for them because the spot market is usually below the contract market. But when things go wrong, when they go pear-shaped in a massive way. So these 4 or 5 different smaller retailers are rapidly going broke. They're having to buy their electricity not at the sort of $60 or $70 per megawatt hour they were buying it at last year, but at $200, $300, even $400 per megawatt hour. And that is, they're going to go broke pretty fast unless they shed their customers quickly. So that's the short-term reason that the spot price has gone up, and these aren't kind of insured against that spot price going up. The longer-term reason is that the spot prices have gone up because we've got shortages worldwide, as you say, and we have put regulatory pieces of laws in place, and we have activists preventing exploration for coal and gas and things, which have left us short of resources. Meanwhile, we've been penalising, especially coal energy producers, which are about 50 or 60% of our electricity. We've been penalising them by subsidising their competitors, which is wind and solar, which is great when wind and solar is operating, but it's not. So we're actually seeing prices seesawing from almost zero to like $400 because of when the wind and the solar cuts in, the price drops like a brick. When it cuts out, it goes up through the roof, and there's actually dangers.
Absolutely, they can't compete with that. And they can't switch on and off like a gas-fired power station to, just pick up the slack when the wind stops blowing or the sun stops shining. So they're out of business. And that's why they're so old and why so many are sort of falling to bits now, these outages. And there's no spare capacity in the coal-fired power generations to pick up the slack. We are in real trouble. What about the huge price hike in gas? Is it all about the war in Ukraine, or is it also in part the fact that countries have been putting green bans on fracking, and in Victoria, for instance, for a while you couldn't even drill for gas on land?
Well, that's right. And if you look at the United States, in spite of Biden having cut back on exploration and various other facets of gas, their gas price is a quarter of ours at the present time. That's because of the reforms which President Trump brought in, which has brought them to a massive expansion of gas and of petrol through the fracking things, which is forbidden everywhere in Australia except Queensland. And even in Queensland, is heavily constrained because activists, often abetted by the government, are basically preventing new supplies coming on board. So yes, the gas price is with us for a while. Other prices are with us. With the electricity price, it's difficult to see this coming down quickly, although who knows, it may well come down as fast as it went up. Nobody forecasted.
Well, that's a tragedy, Alan. But if you're a business investor, you would say there is no long-term future in Australia for a heavy industry that relies on a lot of power. Let's invest in China instead, because they're not going for a lot of this nonsense, and that is going to hurt Australia a lot, and particularly the kind of people that work in heavy industry. Alan Moran, thank you so much for your time.